holding here at DPSGV. And so I must tell you that this was started in 2007 under the steward leadership of that time principal, Mrs. Kalpana Kapoor. And very passionate what I've been, and we are taking the legacy forward, and we are continuing. In fact, if you really look at it, we are the longest standing peer reviews program in the whole country, and we have been told Dr. Nagpal that really wants to take our school to the country where the people know as the peer educators can help the new students adjust in the school system properly. There are certain children, and then they can be that compassion and empathy can be created through our constant learning of psychological learning, our behavioral counseling. I think the teachers can play a vital role. And he mentioned that Ms. Manika Nayal and Ms. Sudeshna Nath, these two teachers have been instrumental in taking this forward, along with Mrs. Ritu Segal, who is also a passionate learner and a worker. He had been steering through with these two teachers to along with each other, and this program has been taken to today, and we are happy that we are celebrating the 15th Peer Educators program, where our expectations are very clear. We want every child to be compassionate, generating the interconnectedness, that the children should be interconnected. It's not that if you are in class 12, you will not connect to the class 6, 7, 8 children. Anybody who needs your help, the children should be these peer educators able to connect, and that interdependency in the systems thinking about the whole system, not thinking about just their own class. I think this is one of the very important outcome, and we have been seeing the repercussions of this peer educators program. When I put it on the Facebook, I can see that there were so many students from the years, they have been writing so many. And it is so good. I was just writing back to them, please do connect back to your school, because this is how the children remember their school. That emotional connect with the school remains when we are connecting emotionally with the children. If I do not connect with my children emotionally, if a teacher doesn't connect emotionally with the children on one-on-one basis, I think the children have nothing to remember, because academics, every school is taking care of. That physics, chemistry, maths, biology, English, Hindi, chemistry, accountancy, economics, business studies, history, political science, psychology, all the subjects are being taught. But are we actually reaching out to the children? Are we making it a student-centric class? Are we making it, student-led classroom? The initiative should be from the students. Dr. Nandi, you can see here, everything is done by the children. I'm there just to welcome you and give a little brief of the program, what we are doing, and what is our purpose. What outcome do we want out of this such programs? This is what I'm telling, but otherwise, complete program will be steered through by all these peer educators and the anchors for the day, Dhruv and Uja Maheshwari. Second outcome which we have always been thinking of, we want these children to, we expect them to emerge as empathetic and compassionate beings in the future. Whenever, right now, our school is running isolation center and a first aid oxygen center, where we have given 10 beds, and we are organizing for the people who are needy. They come and we are trying to help them out. So all these things are so very important. These are small little things which goes a long way. Right now in Jammu and Ghaziabad, there is a Ghaziabad 100 group is there, which is helping the people with the food, the medicines and all. I'm a part of it just out of compassion, out of my empathy for my fellow being, because I'm putting myself on their shoes. Empathy and sympathy are two different words, and I believe in empathy and compassion, and that is how we are working. Leading by example is something we all advocate about. These individuals should be able to think proactively.
they should think out of the box how to reach out to the people, how to help a new student in the school, how to help in the neighborhood, how to help in the society. Then they must also be very good at the communication skills. I must tell you, this peer educators program is really becoming very popular because these children who are involved into it, their communication skills are improving with leaps and bounds. Yesterday we had the inaugural session and I was amazed to hear all the children, whether it is Sanchaita or it was Urja or it was Dhruv or Megha or for that matter any of the children, all the children were one better than the other, and they really proved that this outcome of us, an individual will be able to think proactively out of the box and will imbibe the communication skills and learn to face the world as effective leaders, as an effective speaker. If you can speak well, if you can reach out to the people, if you can communicate well, I think that is the best quality for the 21st century. That's the best skill actually. They will learn critical thinking, they will also learn the problem solving, they will also learn the negotiation skills. If something is happening, some problems are going on, somebody needs an oxygen and you don't have any other option than to negotiate with somebody, then that negotiation skills also makes a lot of difference. What we are doing is, in a school we are taking the help from Seva Bharati, and we are in collaboration with Seva Bharati. We have run an oxygen 10 oxygen bed isolation center in our school, which also needs a lot of skills to communicate with the people. How do you get all these 10 cylinders of 55 liters each? It's not so easy in today's time. So we could negotiate, we could materialize it, we could execute it properly. So this is how the children will learn the critical skills. They will know how to think critically, how to look for the problem solving, and how to negotiate, and how to develop those negotiation skills also very, very important. And the children will learn to shoulder all the responsibilities which are given to them. And I'm sure my children and my teachers are the biggest backbone to the school altogether, because I believe, Dr. Nandi, as a principal, I may be there to inspire my teachers, but ultimately it's the teachers and it's the students and it's the support staff of the school which really makes the difference to the school. How DPSG looks different from others is that we believe in the dignity of labor. Everybody is given respect. If it is a maid or it is a peon or a driver or a conductor, anybody and everybody has the equal respect, and we believe in empathy and equity. We do not believe in equality, we believe in equity. If people are having some problems, we support them. Extra support is needed, we do try and give it to the people so that that equity is taken care of, not the equality only. So with these words, without taking much of the time, I once again welcome you to this portal, Dr. Nandi. Thank you so much for sparing your valuable time to be with us this morning. And I'm sure there's so much to learn from your address, that keynote address, which you're going to give in a moment from now. Thank you so much. Namaste, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now I would request all our guests to virtually light the lamp. Indian classical dance is sustained by a profound philosophy. Form seeks to merge with the formless, and motion seeks to become a part of the motionless. And the dancing individual seeks to become the one with the eternal dance of the cosmos. The students of DPSGV have prepared an invocation dance. Let's have a look.
I hope Palak you've used the music, the audio on. Audio is not on, I suppose. Can you do it again? Share it again with the audio on.
आदिदेव शंकरा शिवाय शंकरा तेरे जाप के बिना भोलेनाथ शंकरा चले ये सांस किस तरह शिवाय शंकरा मेरा कर्म तू ही जाने क्या बुरा है क्या भला क्या बुरा है क्या भला तेरे रास्ते पे मैं तो आंख मूंद के चला तेरे नाम की जोत ने सारा हर लिया तमस मेरा नमो नमो शंकरा भोलेनाथ शंकरा जय त्रिलोकनाथ शंभु हे शिवाय शंकरा नमो नमो शंकरा भोलेनाथ शंकरा रुद्रदेव हे महेश्वरा सृष्टि के जन्म से भी पहले तेरा वास था ये जग रहे या ना रहे रहेगी तेरी आस था क्या समय क्या प्रलय दोनों में तेरी महानता 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 सीपियों की ओट में मोतिया हो जिस तरह शिवाय शंकरा मेरे मन में शंकरा तू बसा है उस तरह शिवाय शंकरा मुझे भरम था जो है मेरा था कभी नहीं मेरा कभी नहीं मेरा अर्थ क्या निरर्थ क्या जो भी है सभी तेरा तेरे सामने है झुका मेरे सर पे हाथ रख तेरा नमो नमो शंकरा भोलेनाथ शंकरा जय त्रिलोकनाथ शंभु हे शिवाय शंकरा नमो नमो शंकरा भोलेनाथ शंकरा रुद्रदेव हे महेश्वरा चंद्रमा ललाट पे भस्म है भुजाओं में बाघ छाल का मैं खड़ा हूँ पाँव में प्यास क्या ओ तुझे गंगा है तेरी जटाओं में जटाओं में दूसरों के वास्ते तू सदैव ही जिया मांगा कुछ कभी नहीं तूने सिर्फ है दिया समुद्र मंथन का था समय जो आ पड़ा द्वंद्व दोनों लोक में विषामृत पे था छिड़ा अमृत सभी मैं बांट के प्याला विष का तूने खुद पिया नमो नमो शंकरा भोलेनाथ शंकरा जय त्रिलोकनाथ शंभु हे शिवाय शंकरा नमो नमो शंकरा भोलेनाथ शंकरा रुद्रदेव हे महेश्वरा नमो नमो शंकरा भोलेनाथ शंकरा जय त्रिलोकनाथ शंभु हे शिवाय शंकरा नमो नमो शंकरा भोलेनाथ शंकरा रुद्रदेव हे महेश्वरा रुद्रदेव हे महेश्वरा रुद्रदेव हे महेश्वरा
That was a scintillating performance. Now, I would request it as a great honor to invite Dr. Nandi to address the gathering. Sir, you are on mute.
Dr. Andy, please unmute yourself.
Yeah.
You're still, yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're muted again.
I'm muted. No, it is unmuted.
Now you're audible.
Okay. So, dear principal sir, students, counselors, educators, it is my honor to be with you in this most noble job that you have been doing. And what I heard from principal sir, especially during this pandemic, the way he's leading from the front, being a very positive role model, I'm sure the school will take these steps forward and build on this theme of building a compassionate world. On this day when I see it is quite cloudy, there's a cool breeze around, I'm just wondering if I could meet in person. But let me tell you, at any point of time, I didn't feel that I am away from you. I am very much socially and emotionally connected to you. So we are not maintaining that social and emotional distancing. We are just into physical distancing. So on this auspicious day of where the theme is how to build a compassionate world, where the school, the educators, the counselors have been doing wonderful job as was being enumerated by Principal Sir. It was so heartwarming to hear all the achievements that I'm sure the torchbearers of tomorrow, they are going to build a beautiful world. What we see today, the way Israel and Palestine is at war, pounding each other with missiles. What we see today, when our borders are into a war kind of a situation almost every day, what we see today, when internally there is so much of hatred, there is so much of difficulty around, but I see in the morning there are about 30, 40 odd schools getting into this act of how to develop a passionate world. And this is what we need. The torchbearers of developing a passionate world starts from here. Are the aggression that we see on the streets, the anger that we see, the short fuse, the road rage, the toxic relationships in the family, in the community, definitely leads to a poor human development. And we understand that sometimes what happens is we usually blame the external sources. It is happening there in Israel and Palestine because they are not in the good terms. It is happening between India and some other neighboring country because they do not know how to handle. There is a way out. And the way out has to come from us, from you students, as to what and how can we build a compassionate world. And with the pandemic on, this has added to our agony. As was being told by Principal Sir, that how you are getting oxygen cylinders. Already the school has been developed into an isolation center. Wonderful. So heartwarming, so nice to hear that a school rising up to this occasion to help the community. So this is compassion. This is compassionate world that we intend to create. And students, for me, the important character strengths that I would want that you should have, you should develop in order to develop a compassionate world is that the love of learning shouldn't stop. And I know it hasn't stopped. You are, for the last 1 year that the pandemic is on, we have learned, you have brought in technology many folds. We have brought, never ever I had imagined that I would be able to talk to so many people. And I had not done it a year back, let me tell you very frankly. Now we are doing it. And this is our love for learning, that we are learning new things. We are motivated to acquire new levels of knowledge, deepen our existing knowledge or skills in the most significant way. So we see that our love of learning has not stopped. And this is what I see the peer educators converging together for a cause. And the love for learning is absolutely intact. I could see those girls, they're the love, their love to be a part of that social process. That has not stopped. So the pandemic could not break our spirit. The spirit is on, and our love of learning hasn't stopped, and we will keep learning. And this is very, very important in order to develop a compassionate world. Gratitude. How do you feel when you express your gratitude? I'm sure these might have been talked to by your peer educators. So I'm sure you know about it. And how do you feel when you express your gratitude? Absolutely, you feel good from within. And that gratitude, it has got immense psychological benefits. That is, it boosts our immune functioning, which is so very important during this pandemic. It has a better cardiovascular effect. That means even a heart condition improves. So just a simple gratitude for your parents, for your teachers, for other people who you feel who has done something for you makes so much of a change, and that is reciprocated. So gratitude is a very powerful positive nutrient. Teamwork. Teamwork is also a very important aspect, which I believe you might be in getting involved in teamwork now that you might be having teams where you work in team in order to develop certain particular traits or certain particular objective of a team. And let me give you an example. The mighty West Indies in the 1970s, they were great because they had excellent teamwork. They had excellent team because it is not that the other teams were not, uh, their talent was less. It was basically they were under an inspiring captain, under a team where each player knew how to go about with it, how to go about with the team. Then came the mighty Australians. And now we have the mighty Indians. How? Because whosoever gets into a team which gels, where there is an inspiring captain, where there are other people who support so very strongly, the team does wonders. This is what happens even in your school when you work in a team, when you work in tandem, you see that how this teamwork do wonders. Even in an organization, teamwork. Any people, if there is a good team that is working, any other lay person who gets into that team comes out as a much more learned person, much wise person. If at all he has to leave that team, he would be a much wise person, a much learned person than when he had got into, because the team was such, the environment was such, which was prepared by that team, and I attribute it a lot to the team leader. So when I see so much of good work being done in a school like DPSGV, I would absolutely attribute it to the school principal who is carrying on with the legacy he said that was started by Dr. Kalpana Kapoor, and it is being still carried on. So see how the team that was there who had already built, and slowly it has built to a state where it is still continuing, and it is gained from strength to strength. So this strength, definitely it helps to become a dedicated, reliable and contributing member to a group of a group or to a team. So it is very important that one remains a part of the team and try to contribute in whatever best manner. And the leader, of course, the leader has to be a real good role model, has to be really very courageous, has to really take many brave decisions, has to be a real good role model. So then the teamwork really works well. Humor. I understand when you are working in a team, it is very important that you should have a sense of humor. You know, in the evening at 9 o'clock, when we all are into different rooms, somewhere we try to get to our drawing rooms to hear a particular Mr. Kapil Sharma. Why? Because that is something which de-stresses us. We feel good. We understand that this is like a lubricant in social interaction and can contribute to extremely good team building. And as a psychologist, I would like to tell you that humor, if it is developed in a child or if it is developed in a student, in an adolescent, it can reduce social anxiety. Why? Because the person gets more equipped to conduct himself in social situations. So humor is also very important character strength for building a compassionate world. Humility, humbleness, love. There are lots of there are many types of love, and the types of love which includes the companionate love, which I believe you all must be enjoying the friendships that you have in your groups, and a love that exists in the family where there's a love between the mother and the child, the father and the other siblings. So this kind of a love, which I believe love conquers all. When there is love, actually a person, when he or she is in love, can understand, or that is so very positive, because it helps in facilitating forgiveness in relationships. It helps in developing empathy. It helps in facilitating tolerance, and it contributes to the health and longevity of those relationships. So love is very beautiful. Love conquers all, and it is important that we keep that flame of love always alive. Kindness. In this time of pandemic, when somebody needs oxygen, maybe you are not allowed, you are not able to move out, but your act of kindness, where you could arrange an oxygen cylinder for somebody through your abilities or through your contacts. So that is a kind of kindness. The kindness that where you are able to nurture and care for others. The kindness where people who are suffering, where you listen to them, and that listening itself makes so much of a difference. So we need to be, students, I would tell you, we need to be empathetic here, as told by sir earlier also. Than being sympathetic, we need to be empathetic, and I fully endorse, I fully agree with him that we need to be empathetic and regularly do nice work for others without expecting anything in return. At this time of the pandemic, you know, when there is so much of agony around, where there is so much of difficult times in your family, probably in your near and dear ones, going through some difficult situations, it is this optimism which keeps us sticking. It is this optimistic thinking that something good is going to happen. And hopeful people tend to be healthier, they tend to be happier, and they tend to be more successful. So this is again very important. So we need to be to have that optimism in us that this is a passing phase, this will go, and uh, I will see to it that in this time of gloom, how do I keep my flame of hope alive so that I would be able to do a lot many good in my vicinity, in my community. And zest for life. So the zest for life is something uh, where you where you get up and you say, there are many students who come and tell me, sir, I get up at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Why is it so? Sir, I do not understand why should I get up early. I don't see any reason why should I get up early. I feel that there is no meaning. Why should I get up early? And I say that that zest is so very important. And each of you, children, students, adolescents, I tell you, each one of you are talented. Maybe somebody can really write well, somebody can compose music, somebody can sing, somebody can research on projects you might not have evaluated yourself, somebody can create theater content, somebody can write comedy, somebody can act it out. So many areas. Please try and find out that area so that the zest of life is alive. So, and that is so very important at this point of time, that our zest for life shouldn't go down. And when we have that zest of life, there is a spring in our feet. It seems as if I can really jump. And with that jump, when you are able to jump well, with that jump, sometimes you would like to fly. And that is what I call zest. So that zest of life, keep it alive, students, children. I would definitely want, if you have this zest of life, I'm sure you would be able to create a beautiful, compassionate world where I believe so many mentors, such nice role models, a very inspiring principal who would be able to bring a lot of change in the world that where you are likely to be the torch bearers. And before I conclude, let me tell you, there are 6 F's that we need to remember, which is so very important at this point of time. One is fitness. First F stands for fitness.
नहीं ले रहा मैं
The first F stands for fitness. That means, may I ask whosoever is switched on the mic, please put it on mute. Fitness is so very important because when we exercise, it is almost like taking a pill, an antidepressant. So if you feel low, just go for some exercise. Exercise for 40 minutes in a day. See the difference. You would really not feel low ever. Keep doing it. So fitness is a key function, no matter what. Your regular function, normal function of doing your schoolwork, of the kind of work that you were doing prior to the pandemic, that shouldn't be hampered because you have technology with you, you have support, you have all possible resources with you. So your function shouldn't be stopped. The third important F is friends. Friends are very important, where you get an opportunity to talk to your friends with those dynamics. You learn how to interact. Your stress level comes down. You can share so many things. So friends are also very important. Fourth important is your family, where family, of course, at this point of time, during the pandemic, when you're staying with the family, sometimes those small altercations might snowball into something big. So it is important on your part, I would say, to calm yourself down. Think how you can talk rationally. And again, one important part is communication. How can you communicate your issues with your family members? How can you convince your family members And when you have family support, again, I would say this is the most wonderful feel one can have. So the fourth F is family. Fifth F is fun. If we take away fun from our life, then our life becomes meaningless. So that fun has to be there. So try to locate that fun. Try to locate that zest. If you have that zest, if you have that fun, of course, life would be seamless. And the sixth F is future. So for your future, please, please think, please figure out, please do all the right things. Uh, some researches, some charity, some other work, and think as to how should you plan for your future. I am not saying that one has to decide the future at this point of time only when you are in class 9, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Of course, people can figure out even at the age of 30 or sometimes at the age of 35 also. I'm not saying that, but yes, one should be aware of what holds good for them in the future. So we have to be future ready. So these are the 6 F's that I would want you to keep in mind. And otherwise, to children, I'm sure the kind of mentors you have, the kind of a principal that you have, you are definitely going to do wonders. And for today's learning also, I believe you would do a lot of good group work, good teamwork, and wishing you all the best. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, sir. We also have with us Miss Yakshika Watts, who is a young entrepreneur, social media marketing freelancer, volunteer at Robin Hood Academy, and a co-owner at Humans of Volunteering. Ma'am is an alumni from DPSGV who has connected our school to the Robin Hood organization. I thank ma'am for providing her gracious presence and joining us to enhance our joy for today. With equal pleasure, I invite ma'am Yakshika to share a few words with us.
Yakshika. Yakshika. Her mic is unmute.
Is Yakshika there? If some technical help can locate her if she's there in the group or if she's logged out.
Sir,
Sir, I have put her on the call. She's not able to unmute. Yes, we can hear you, Yakshika. Please speak.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here. I'm a proud alumnus of the school and a businesswoman and an active volunteer at Robin Hood Academy. So first of all, everyone, please be safe because the road after getting infected isn't an easy one. Um, just like every time the community has not failed us, we all know Sonu Sood, who's another brother of the nation. We see organizations like Gurdwara in Indrapuram, which is supplying oxygen for free and is a support for so many people. My organization, Humans of Volunteering, is getting medicines at doorstep for more than 200 Ghaziabad citizens. And in RHA itself, we have been able to get more than 1,300 senior citizens for vaccination across the country. And this is probably the best time to discuss about compassion, because if the community, if the volunteers, if people, if simple neighbors are not there for each other to serve food when you are infected or in trouble, so what's the point of having a society, right? So this is the best time to discuss about compassion among students. The Peer Educator program takes a challenge every year to address something that needs to be talked about in the society. And every time I join the school, I always say to the students that you really don't need to take up social service as a career. Make it a part of your life. Just like you go out to McDonald's, have that compassion in you with the society, that you dedicate at least 1 hour in a week with everyone. And if not this, then if you don't have any idea how to start with volunteering, you can always reach out to me and I'll help you out what you can do. And due to the current situation, we always try to get our the kids of Robin Hood Academy of Ghaziabad to join the program, and they have really had a great time in the past few programs of Peer Educator. But this time, because of the situation, they have moved back to their villages, and it was hard to connect with them. But I'm very glad, and I'll share and convey your love to our students there. And the team of Robin Hood Army and Academy is really glad to be a part of the program. Thank you, Principal Sir, Sudeshna Ma'am, Pooja, all of you to help us join the program and give us a chance to communicate our purpose and nurture the children. And sorry for the technical glitch.
No problem. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Teamwork is the best way to demonstrate these skills like collaboration, coordination, cooperation, and commitment. Kindly note that we will have all our presentations in 3 hours, and I request you all to report back at 1:15 sharp for the closing ceremony. This brings us to the end of the opening ceremony, and thank our chief guests for giving their precious time. I would like all the mentors to accompany their teammates to their respective channels.
Just hold on.
Yes, sir.
Yes, children, at 1:15 we are meeting again for the closing ceremony. In the closing ceremony, Sudeshna, we have a renowned counselor from Jammu, Mrs. Dr. Chantrehan, who will be there as a keynote speaker. So please ensure that I'll send her number. You can organize how to make her join, right? Dr. Chantrehan is a nationally or internationally reputed counselor, and we really want her to be there to talk to all the peer educators today. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So I would request all the mentors to accompany their teammates to their respective channels.
I request everyone and all the team leaders and group representatives to accompany their group mates to their respective channels. Thank you.
Dear students, kindly move to your respective channels.